The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power. That is the name of the new Amazon TV series adaptation, not really adaptation, but like prequel to Tolkien's The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. So this is a series that's set in the Second Age, thousands of years before The Lord of the Rings, and takes place during the forging of the Rings of Power, the Elven Rings, Dwarven Rings, Human Rings, and the One Ring to rule them all. So this will be, fan fiction, basically. It'll draw on Tolkien's writings, of course, but it's going to be pretty much, invented, all these stories. They'll use the map, they'll use the location, but it'll be a new story, for better or worse. And I have mixed feelings about this. I had mixed feelings about this before sort of the modern era of adaptations, which have sort of kind of obvious ideological bents to them. And but before that, even, I've been very skeptical about all these adaptations because, I don't know, like, it feels like they just take everything too far these days. As much as the nerd in me and the fantasy lover in me wants to see all these stories come to life, at the same time, it just sometimes feels like maybe we're taking it too far. But that's neither here nor there. Let's watch the trailer, and I will read the description of the show, which comes out on September 2nd, 2022 on Amazon Prime. And I know one reason that I'm skeptical, and one reason I think a lot of people are sort of waiting with bated breath, is the Wheel of Time adaptation that Amazon just released the first season of, that was met with, it was very controversial, very divisive. I thought it did some things okay, but overall I found it to be a pretty disappointing season of television that really strayed really, really far from the books in sort of inexplicable ways. I realize you have to adapt something, you have to change a lot of things, you have to cut a lot of things, but this season of The Wheel of Time really just kind of went so far off the reservation, and I'm not really sure why. All right, here's the show description of The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power. Prime Video's The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, very redundant sounding name, I'm not sure I like saying that over and over, brings to screens for the very first time the heroic legends of the fabled Second Age of Middle-earth's history. This epic drama is set thousands of years before the events of J.R.R. Tolkien's The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, and will take viewers back to an era in which great powers were forged. Kingdoms rose to glory and fell to ruin. Unlikely heroes were tested. Hope, hung by the finest of threads, and the greatest villain that ever flowed from Tolkien's pen, threatened to cover all the world in darkness. Beginning in a time of relative peace, the series follows an ensemble cast of characters, both familiar and new, as they confront the long-feared re-emergence of evil to Middle-earth. From the darkest depths of the Misty Mountains, to the majestic forests of the elf capital of Lindon, to the breathtaking island kingdom of Numenor, to the furthest reaches of the map, these kingdoms and characters will carve out legacies that live on long after they are gone. So, sprawling, epic fantasy. I like all that. I don't know. It sounds kind of like the plot of The Lord of the Rings, though, right? A dark lord threatens to break a long peace. The reemergence of darkness in the land. I don't know. All right, here's the trailer. It's not much, but enjoy. Peace.
Three rings for the Elven Kings under the sky. 7 for the Dwarf Lords in their halls of stone. 9 for mortal men doomed to die. 1 for the Dark Lord on his dark throne in the land of Mordor, where the shadows lie.